Originally, the plan was, and I hate to disappoint you, the plan was to have Cadell Evans here with us tonight, and he was at the function last night, but he's got a small bike race to run next week, and he had to jump on an 11 o'clock flight to get back to Melbourne. So we're still going to have a great night. We've got 3 guests for you. One of them, his picture's up there. He's on his way back down here. We're going to have a chat to Sam Welsford. He's won a couple of stages and he's had 2 crashes, so he's currently getting patched up. We're then going to have a chat to the only person to win this race 3 years in a row. Any guesses? Amanda Spratt. We've got an early contender for the glasses because we're going to be giving glasses away later for the best question, and we've got the clubhouse leader, and somebody's going to have to do really well to get the better of you. So we're going to talk to Spratty. We're going to close with Spratty, talk to her about the race this year, the season to come, and what to look forward to tomorrow. But first up, we're going to talk to a guy who has made a big impact on this race, and he came here with a mission to get the attention of World Tour squads, to get in a breakaway, get the King of the Mountains jersey, and try and get a name for himself. And I think he's achieved it. Last year, he was the Australian Under-23 road champion. This year, he got the silver medal in the Under-23 road race. He got the silver medal in the time trial, but he's going to go out tomorrow as the winner of the King of the Mountains classification. Please welcome, from ARA Australian National Team, Fergus Browning. Mission accomplished for you at the Tour Down Under?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to try and soak up tomorrow. I think the racing around the streets at Adelaide will be pretty cool, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
What have you been more nervous about? Me coming to you every morning with the camera ready to do a TV interview, or racing against the world's best?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've had to pick up the media thing pretty quickly. But nah, yeah, I think racing against the world's best has just been insane. It's the highest level race I've done ever, and probably one of my dream races that I've ever wanted to do. So yeah, it's been super special.
Did you come here as a junior to watch the race?
Yeah, I've been roadside maybe for 4 years. Probably as soon as I got into cycling, I was definitely on the side of Wollonga cheering the riders up, and yeah, to be racing up there today was it was really cool.
Like the rest of us, have you ever been waiting at the front of the hotel at the Hilton and seen the stars walk out?
Oh, for sure. You definitely hang around the village and see such big names walk through. It's really cool. Like this race, it allows you to get so close to the big riders, and yeah, it's just been so much fun so far.
What was it like checking in to the hotel as one of the riders that people were going to get their photo with?
Yeah, no, it was really cool. I was super privileged to get the spot with the national team, and yeah, it's been great that they got another start in the race, and we have a couple of we have a really strong team. So yeah, it's just been awesome.
When you started the race, what did you hope to be able to achieve?
I had sort of two sort of goals going into the race. It was either to take the opportunity and go for one of the jerseys, whether it was the Young Riders jersey or the KOM jersey. Otherwise, it was either to look at stage 3 and today's the Wollonga stage. But after day 1, being in this break, took the KOM points. That's the sort of rabbit hole I went down. So yeah, for the rest of the week, I was sort of chasing those points. Didn't really expect to be in the break 3 days in a row, but it's just how it came to me, and yeah, I've made the most of everything I can.
Do you agree with me that he still looks at the expression on his face in a little bit of shock? Is it what's it like stepping out onto the podium every day? And you know, here, like Narvaez is out there on the podium today. He beat Pogacar last year in the Giro, and you're stepping onto the same podium.
Yeah, it's pretty special. I definitely don't take it for granted every time, and every time you get to walk up on the podium, you're gonna remember for a long time, and definitely not take it for granted. That's for sure.
Okay, so last year was a year where I thought, and a lot of other people thought, that you would have been able to make that step and get into the World Tour. But it just didn't quite click for you overseas.
Yeah, I had a pretty successful year. I started off with a good Nationals campaign and won the Under-23 road race, which was super special. Like to win such a pretty big race in Australia in front of all my family and friends was a really cool start to the year. And then headed over to Europe with my old British team, Trinity Racing, and I think unfortunately got a bit sick for a couple of weeks and took a bit too long to recover. So I lacked a bit of consistency at the start of the year, but managed to bounce back from that pretty well and take a stage win at Tour de Lan, which was really special. Probably didn't hit me straight away how big it was when I did win. Like, you are in the middle of France and you don't have, like, you're not at home and it's not as exciting, I suppose, when you finish. It's just a bunch of random people around and in a small French village. But after winning that, yeah, it definitely sunk in with how special it was.
It is a pretty big race to win. That's a race that's been won by the likes of Romain Bardet, for example, as a stepping stone for him, and he's been second at the Tour de France. Trinity Racing is one of the key development teams, or it was. It doesn't exist any longer. One of your teammates was Joey Pidcock, the brother of
Tom. Yeah, he's been my housemate for the last year, and he actually came out to Australia and spent a month in the early start of summer in Bright, and sort of spent the month showing him around, and I think he's definitely found probably his new favourite country. He loved every minute of it, and yeah, he's been awesome.
When Tom Pidcock left Ineos and they signed Joey Pidcock, I thought you were a chance of being part of the package deal. Was there ever any discussions to join the team?
For sure, I was in his ear, and he was, know Tom also, and he's also been pretty helpful, but hats off to Joey. He deserves it, and I think he'll do good things with Tom.
So what's the plan this year to try and get to the next step, to try and get in the pro peloton?
Yeah, I've tried to come out to Tour Down Under and make a bit of a statement. So just hoping all things going to plan, I'll get that European team that I want and get back over to Europe and really make this year count. Obviously, the end goal is to sign with a World Tour team and be at the top level of the sport. It's something that I'm realizing this week that I'm definitely capable of doing. It's just about getting that opportunity and being able to perform at the top.
I'm going to open up to the floor. If anybody wants to ask Fergus a question, I'll give you some thinking music by asking you another one. You've done a lot of training with Luke Plapp. What was it like training with him in preparation to give you confidence that if you're training with one of the best, you can race with the best?
Yeah, he's been super supportive of me through my whole journey through riding, and spent a bit of time with him in Bright. Spent most of December up there training. Did some pretty solid training rides up there. Couple 3-4 hour days, just half wheeling each other, and he's been super supportive, and can't thank him enough for what he's done to help me.
It's pretty good company to keep. Anybody want to ask Fergus a question? It's like an auction, mate. We're trying to get. We got one. Okay, if you could have a pick, and you could choose one World Tour team to go to, which would it be?
It's a pretty tough question to answer, but obviously riding for the Australian team, Jayco, would be pretty cool, and to have Luke there as well would be also great, as he could, he'd be a great mentor, and I think it'd be a great team to join down the line.
You'll sign with anyone, though. You won't be picky at this stage, will you?
I would not be picky at this stage.
One of the 18. Next question.
What race would you like to win overseas? One of the Pro Tour races.
What's the race that you dreamt about as a kid? The one that you'd love to win, that you think you're capable of winning? Obviously, everybody wants to win the Tour de France. What's the one that you'd love to win?
I mean, to be honest, Tour Down Under, I did get into the sport a bit later than most, and I think Tour Down Under was the first race that I could actually get to and watch as a kid, and that was honestly my goal to do, and one of my dream races. Overseas, though, I think it'd just be super special to race at any race in the top. Obviously, doing the Grand Tour would be super special. Couldn't tell you the exact one, but anyone would be.
Just like the World Tour teams, the races, he's not too picky. He'll have any of them, and we hope he gets them. You've made a massive impact on this race. To go out the winner of the FX King of the Mountains classification is huge in your first participation. Thanks for giving up some of your time. Thanks for being patient with me in the mornings as well when I keep putting the camera in front of your face. Good luck for the rest of the season. Ladies and gentlemen, last year's Australian Under-23 road champion, the winner of the King of the Mountains, Fergus Browning. You know you've been pretty successful when you've got your picture up there and it's about 10, 15 times bigger than you are. This is a guy who last year won 3 stages in the race. He's won 2 stages so far this year. But I also want to talk to him a little bit about track cycling. Because when he went to the Olympics in Tokyo, he picked up a silver medal on the track. No, Rio, he got a silver medal. Tokyo, he got a bronze medal. Paris, he got a gold medal. A picture of perseverance, one of the world's fastest sprinters. He's already won 2 stages this year, 3 stages last year. The Australian Criterium champion, Sam Welsford.
Appreciate it.
In the middle. Firstly, thank you for coming because I was happy for you to say no, given that today was your second day crashing. What happened this time?
Yeah, I had a little get down today, just on the Wollonga Hill. Just thought, might spice up the stage and get my arse cheek out again. But no, all fine. Just a little bit of skin off. It was through the corners. It was bloody fast down there, so almost went off the edge, but saved it.
I got to admit, I was a little bit nervous about the race descending Wollonga Hill because of not you guys, but spectators.
Yeah, it was pretty busy up there, and for us, we just wanted to make sure it was safe. And for me, I thought the safest space was the front, and for me, that wasn't. But no, it was all pretty good after that. I think everyone realised, okay, let's calm down. There's a long way to go, and I just had to break the nerves.
Okay, before we talk about you in this race, how proud were you of your team today to flip the switch from working for their sprinter to work for the Kiwi Finn Fisher Black, 3rd on the stage and 3rd overall?
Yeah, it was pretty special today. We really supported Finn Fisher Black, who was our GC rider, and he went 3rd today. I think if he might have been a little bit closer to the front, he came with such power in the last 30 seconds. So we'll be defending the 3rd tomorrow. 3rd GC is still pretty good, and hopefully we can make it 3 stage wins.
Okay, 3 stage wins last year. You're on 2 with 1 to go.
Yeah, it was pretty happy to get 2 already so far. Stewie's made the race a little bit harder for me this year. But stage 2 was really special, especially when crashing in the first 2K. And then team brought me back really well. But I think, tomorrow suits us quite well. And we'll try to get that number 3.
I had Mark Cavendish and Mark Renshaw up here a couple of days ago, and they spoke about the importance of a lead-out train. And then Robbie McEwen also spoke about it, and he said it's actually harder to identify the best lead-out rider in the world than the best sprinter because great lead-out riders are often rarer than sprinters. They've declared your guy, Danny Van Poppel, as the best.
Yeah, I think I'm really lucky to have Danny Van Poppel in front of me. He's one of the best lead-out men in the bunch, and for me to have him just guide me through, and I just have to turn my brain off and follow him through, and he always gets me there to the front, so really happy to have him in front of me.
You love racing at home. Let's talk about the National Championships in Perth. How big was that for you, particularly the Criterium, with at least, there must have been 15,000+ people there watching that?
Yeah, the Perth Nationals 2 weeks ago was one of my highlights of my career. We don't often get to race in home, so for me to throw the hands up in front of the home crowd and Northbridge, 10 deep in the crowd was electric and something I won't forget for a long time.
Okay, you started this season really well, as you did last year. How do you keep that going this season? What are your next targets when you leave Australia?
Yeah, we want to continue the wins this year. Last year had a bit of mixed focus with the track, so this year will probably be more road focused. So I'll go to Cadell's next week, then we go to UAE tour in the desert, and that's the big sprint world champs, as everyone's seen. It's the biggest sprint race of the year, probably, pancake flat, 4-lane highways leading into the finish, so it's a real ripper. And then after that, I'll head to Paris-Nice, which is a pretty hard race, but there's a few sprint opportunities there, and I should have Danny as well.
Okay, Grand Tours this year, because you're on a team with Primoz Roglic, Jai Hindley, they've won Grand Tours. What opportunities does a sprinter get on that team?
Yeah, it's pretty hard. I think we have a really strong GC team in our Red Bull Bora, so for us, we have to see where a sprinter fits in the Grand Tours. I mean, I'd love to do the Tour again. That was something that was the hardest thing I've ever done, but also really fun to do and very rewarding to finish. So for me, fingers crossed I get to race the Tour. We'll have to see. But if I keep putting my hand up and keep winning some more races, and they can't say no.
Well, we hope that you ride it because it gives us another story to tell, because I want to understand how you got the nickname Wombat, because you are the fastest wombat in the world.
Yeah, the old Wombat nickname, it's been stuck around for a while now. It actually came from Michael Hepburn, who was just in here before. 2016 World Championships in London, we were racing against the Brits in their home turf, and we beat them, which probably was the worst thing we could have done for the Olympics. But I did the last 2 laps, so I was just sprinting full noise, and I get this kind of shake going on where I wiggle, and Hepburn said, "Oh, you look like a bloody wombat on the bike," because I was probably a little bit bigger than I am there now. So that's how it stuck, and it's been there since.
Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I own it, I reckon, yeah.
Yeah, stick with it.
It's my spirit animal.
Fantastic. You're not going to add it as one of your tattoos, are you?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. If I bloody keep crashing, I'll have to get a new tattoo every time.
Patch it up. Let's talk about the track. So your first Olympics in Rio, you get a silver medal. Then Tokyo, COVID interrupted, a bronze medal. Did you ever contemplate not going to Paris on the track?
Yeah, we had a interesting last 3 Olympic cycles. Came so close in Rio, 0.6 of a second to the Brits in the final, and I was 20 there, so I was, at that point I was like, let's go again. I'm still young. I really want to get that gold. Tokyo was a little bit different. We had a bit of a mishap in our qualification ride. I'm not sure if anyone knows, but Alex Porto, my teammate at the time, local boy here in Adelaide, his handlebars actually snapped in the qualification ride, and he face first into the track, and he was a super soldier. He got back up, and we did the round 1 again, but we're already 2 kilometers into the race, so we had to restart, re-warm up. So it was a pretty tough one, but we were really lucky enough to come away with 3rd. I think that was a really good show of resilience for us to come 3rd there. And then I was obviously a bit disappointed with 3rd, considering we had a really good team and we really wanted that gold, but just had to refocus, change the goals on the road for a bit, and really build that track team up, and to win the gold in Paris with basically a whole new team. I had Kel O'Brien there from Tokyo, but 2 younger guys, Connor Lay and Ollie Bledden, to have them step up and really target this as something we could put together on the field, and it was really special.
We had Richie Port here the other day, and he's super proud of being a Tasmanian. Let's talk about WA. You've just mentioned the team pursuit squad. That was basically the Western Australian team pursuit squad. It was 3 Western Australians and 1 Victorian. Yeah, okay having the Victorian Kel O'Brien with you?
We'll take Kel O'Brien anytime we can. He's a weapon. So, but it was really cool to have 3 WA boys in there. I think it shows the depth we have out of WA. Yeah, shout out to the West Australians in the crowd.
Yeah, put your hands together if you're from WA. Excellent. Oh, Nolene, mum's up the back. Even made an appearance on television. And I went blank and I'd forgotten your name. I've only known you for 10 years, and I just said, "Oh, we've got mum." Sorry. So 3 minutes and 40 seconds for the 4Ks?
Yeah, 3 minutes 40.7. So this is something I didn't think it was even possible at this day and age. The previous world record was like a 43, 44. So for us to beat it by that much was
so once you get going, obviously from a standing start, once you get up and to speed, what speed are you sitting on for most of the race?
Speed, I think it's around probably like 68 k an hour for 4 minutes from a standing start. If no one doesn't know, our velodrome lap is 250 meters, and our 1 lap splits were basically around 13.1 seconds for 1 lap, even sometimes under in the 12.8s, which was really hooking. But Paris was super fast. The shape of the track in Paris really dictates a lot of the speed. If you have a lot of bend on the track, it does promote a lot of fast times, and this track was perfect. super hot in there, so it was a really good maker for fast times.
All right, I'm about to open up to the floor for questions for Sam, but I'm going to ask a nerd question next. What's your wattage output when you're on the front in a team's pursuit?
Oh, yeah. For me, a bit bigger bloke. I'm not a zero, unfortunately. You can thank my dad for my wide shoulders. He's in the crowd. But for me, it's roughly around 700 to 730 watts. And that can range from a 1 minute turn to a 30-second turn. So the most hardest thing is being able to do that power and then come down and recover on the wheel when you're in third or fourth and you're still producing, 500, 400, 400 watts. So that's the hardest thing about timber shooting.
It is crazy. Okay, what was it like standing on the podium, national anthem is playing, and you've got a gold medal around your neck?
Yeah, this was pretty magical, to be honest. I've been on either side of the podium and heard the other anthems, and when you can hear your own, that really hits different. And for us, there was a few teary boys on the podium, and I think we all sobbed like little teenagers up there. But for us, it meant so much to us from the journey we've had on the track, so it was really special.
You tearing up at the back there, Nolene, thinking of it? You were crying, weren't you? We saw it on the telly. It was fantastic. Who wants to ask Sam a question? You do. And then we're going over here to Levi.
If you did an all-out fastest lap, what time would you do it?
Oh, 250 metres fastest lap. What time? What maximum speed?
We haven't done these for a long time, but usually I did a flying lap in roughly 12.6 seconds, maybe even faster, depending if we drop in. Now we're on really big gears, so you can go really fast, but that's upwards of 73k an hour.
73k an hour, isn't that crazy? Next question.
How was the transfer from track to road, and what was the driving motivation after, obviously you've had so much success on the track, so what was the driving factor to transfer?
Oh, it's a good question. For me, I always had the ambition to be a road professional. I think I came through track quite young. In Perth, there's lots of grassroots developments that come through the track, and I always had the goal of going to the Olympics and maybe winning gold one day if I was lucky. And for me, after that was, really wanted to become a road pro and, live in Europe and see if I can do it on the road. And, never going to be a climber, that's for sure. But if I could be a sprinter on the road, then that would be nice.
Okay, up the back here. Next question.
What was the lightest bike you ever raced with?
Oh, the lightest bike you ever raced with?
I need a light bike because I got a lot of weight on me that I need to worry about. So a light bike is important. I have my current bike, my Specialized SLA. It's bloody super light. I think it's almost 6.85, 6.89 kilos. So definitely needed to me to get up the hills.
Well, you're going to have to write a really special note to Mum and Dad and see if we can get one of those next year. Your question.
Who's your idol and why?
Oh, this is a good question. I used to, this would be for the WA crowd, Cam Meyer was my idol growing up. He's a guy that was, super professional, really hard-working guy, and I always used to do a few bunch rides with him when I was young, and I was about your age, and I used to try hang on the wheel of him, and just really look up to him as a guy that was really giving back to cycling in a way where you can talk to athletes, talk to young kids, even fans. Just giving back to the community. I think is super cool.
He was a great role model. You're now a great role model. The next generation are looking up to you. I've seen the way you look after the young kids coming through, and particularly the way you support the young Western Australians. It's been a joy to watch your career blossom. I've loved seeing you here. 2 stages done amongst the sprinters, 1 to go tomorrow. We wish you the best of luck. Olympic Games gold medalist, Australia's best road sprinter, one of the best in the world, Sam Welsford.
Great, mate. Great. Cheers.
Next up is another of the greats of Australian cycling, another of the greats of world cycling. She's been on the podium at the Giro d'Italia. She's won a bronze medal, a silver medal at the World Championships. She's been a 3-time Australian road champion, and she's the only person to win 3 editions of the Santos Tour Down Under in a row. She is the super Amanda Spratt. Come on down, Spratty.
Yeah.
Is she not a crowd favourite or what? Amanda Spratt, one more time. Spratty!
Hey, that's...
You've always got to bring yourself a Kirsty Baxter. You can't ask questions yet, Kirsty. You're going to have to wait till a little bit later on. What has this race meant to you?
It's meant so much to me. As you said, I've won it 3 times, and I think for me it's given me a lot of confidence in my career. And I told this story last night actually, but I've been coming here since I was first year senior, I think, so since I was 19 years old, when we used to have criteriums here at the Tour Down Under. And I was telling my teammates this on a ride the other day, and one of my young teammates in the back piped up and told me that they weren't actually born at that point. So if there's any way to know that you feel a bit old and you've been around for a while, it's to have teammates that are 18 and 19.
But you sold it much better last night. You didn't use the word old, you used the word experienced.
That is true, yes, thank you. Experienced, very, very experienced.
Particularly when you were riding with the Green Edge team under its various sponsors, this race must have come with a lot of pressure.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was, at that time, one of the biggest races. I think particularly the women's team did, because we didn't have a Tour de France then. So you were coming here, we just did nationals, high pressure, come across the Tour Down Under, and we really, really wanted to win it. A lot of pressure was on us. All the other teams knew that, so we knew if there was a break, it'd be us to chase it back. But yeah, it's been a race that's been really good to me over many years. I'm really proud to have won it with the support of the team, and Mum and Dad are always here. My sponsors since I was about 9 years old and started racing, so it's really special just to have the support from people here in the crowd, from Penrith Cycling Club, from the Blue Mountains, Mum, Dad, so it's special for many reasons.
Another story that you told last night was about the Giro d'Italia, which has been a race that's been special to you. And Amanda Spratt put Grace Brown to the sword in a team time trial. Grace Brown had to tell you to wait.
Yeah, I'm pretty glad Grace isn't here tonight, so she can't actually rebut me when I tell this story. But we did an 18-kilometre teams time trial to start the Giro. And we started with Annemiek van Vleuten, Lucy Kennedy, who was one of the best climbers in Australia at the time, myself, Grace, and 2 other teammates. I think I started like a rocket, very excited to get the Giro underway, turned the first corner. I think within a kilometre, we dropped 2 of the teammates, which left poor Grace's person number 4 in the mostly uphill time trial. By about kilometre 2, she started vomiting. And we were just there like, come on, Grace, you can do it, you can do it. So kind of just, trying to push her, trying to just get her through there. And I've never seen someone so dead. I mean, we won the Giro in the end, so it was worth it. Her sacrifice was, we were very grateful.
So then how much have you enjoyed watching her progress from being the new rider on that team and then watching her win the gold medal at the Olympics last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible. I just feel so happy for her. And firstly, she's just an amazingly nice and beautiful person. But to see what she's done, I think, between 2019 and 2024, it's what most people would just dream to do an entire career. I think it's just incredible. And I've seen how hard she's worked, and yeah, chapeau. I think we're really going to miss her.
Yeah, like most people, we were disappointed when she announced her retirement, but I also like the way she's done it, in the same way Ash Barty did it, in that she's taken complete control, and not many people get to go out on their terms.
No, and I think a lot of people were shocked, and they just said, won't you keep racing? But I mean, I knew Grace, and I think the reasons she retired were to spend more time with family, to try other things. So I think she was already made that decision for the right reasons for her, and she didn't let the results change that. So I think it's amazing to finish like that.
Okay, in the Santos Tour Down Under this year, there was no Australian stage victory and no Australian on the podium in the top 3 overall. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, not the best thing from my perspective. No, but I think for the race perspective, it's a good thing. And I think it only shows that the level's going up and up, and we're getting really, people are coming to the race fit, they're coming to the race really strong these days. You're not really turning up here if you're not in form. So I think we saw Noemi Rugg, who won. She had a really good year last year. She was 7th in the Olympics, had several other results where you thought, okay, like her time is coming. So to be honest, I didn't think she could win on Wollonga, so I think that already said a lot about where she was at. And I think she was pretty honest too, saying that she was more targeting the Stirling stage. So, I mean, definitely next year we hope to get an Aussie back there on the podium, but I think it's a good thing for the race.
I think it's great for the significance of the race that the internationals are really targeting it, and it can no longer be dominated by the Aussies. For you this year, now that you're one of the more experienced riders on the team, and you've got a new Kiwi on the team, Niamh Fisher-Black, the Gaia Raylini, the young Italian. What's your role in helping them achieve their dreams?
Yeah, so I think in the last year or so, last 2 years since joining Lidl Trek, I think I've sort of moved more into a role of being a mentor, a lot of the time being a captain within the team. So I still get opportunities as well when I have the form, so I'm grateful for that. But I'm really in that role where I'm trying to teach them how to take on the pressure, how to really perform in these big tours, and it takes a lot of pressure, and if I can be there and lead them into a climb, make them feel safer, take the thinking away in the key moments, then I think that can really help. And I think with Gaia Raylini in particular, I spent a lot of time with her. I do a lot of her race program. She was 5th in the Tour de France, but I think for her, my other role is to teach her the Australian slang. And so I think the best one, I think you'll have to check her Instagram, but saying freezing my tits off in a strong Italian accent. So check it out.
You're going to win a lot of fans in Australia if she keeps up that sort of behaviour.
Yeah, so I'm trying to integrate her, you know. And then my other teammates get annoyed at me, but you know.
You've got to have fun while you're doing your job.
Yeah.
Taking a look forward to this season. In fact, let's go back to the last couple of seasons. I had Michael Rogers up here the other night, and I asked him about the relationship between Chris Froome and Bradley Wiggins. Now, you've been in the peloton, but you haven't been teammates with Lotte Kopecky and Demi Vollering. We've all been speculating from the outside their relationship. Do you know what it was really like? Because I think it was a bit rocky.
Look, I don't think they're sending each other Christmas cards, put it that way. I think it just got to the point there where there's too much rivalry there, and I think the best thing is that they've parted ways, and it's going to be a hell of a battle this season.
I love that they're not teammates anymore. I think that's good for the sport because the team was too strong. But now Anna van der Breggen has made a comeback. What can she do? Because she was the number one. Her and Annemiek van Vleuten were tussling to be the number one in the world when they were going head to head.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fascinating. I think Anna's coming back, and interestingly, up until I think the Tour de France in the season just gone, she was still coaching Demi Vollering. She coaches Blanca Vass. So now all of a sudden Demi's changed teams, but yet Anna knows all the strengths of Demi, probably her weaknesses, her strengths, and I think that's going to be interesting. I think that will play on the mind of Demi in the next season. And Anna's like a quiet weapon, just quiet, unassuming, but she knows when to make the right move.
I think it's set for being one of the best seasons that we've had in a long, long time. I can't wait. I'm going to open up to the floor for questions for Amanda, but I'll come into the back, boys, but I got one more first. I'm being greedy with the microphone. Sarah Gigante, she won this race last year, and she's had so many challenges with injuries and illness. She's had the same surgery that you had with iliac artery, the issue with the clotting of the blood, etc., or not getting blood to the muscles. Can she come back to the same level that she has been in the past, and can she challenge to win the Tour de France?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've had the surgery, but I think another great example for her to look at is Annemiek van Vleuten's had it a few times as well, and she had her best years after it. I've been in contact with Sarah quite a bit, both before the surgery and after, and she still has that mentality of, are you sure I can't do a bit more here, a bit more there? But I'm just trying to tell her, take your time. I know she feels like time's running, but I think she's 25.
She's 24.
24, there you go. So she's got plenty of time. And I think what she did in the Tour de France this year, I think she survived those stages in Holland, and I think she herself will admit how challenging it is in the bunch and on the downhills, and I think she just showed how much strength she has in those legs of hers, and so I think she is a very good potential for a Tour de France result podium in the future.
Yeah, I definitely think she can. And her biggest challenge is going to be to rest and recover. I did a function with her and Luke Plapp at the Brunswick Cycling Club before Christmas, and they all asked the question, what's your favourite training session? And you'll love this from Sarah Giganti. She said 3 times 40 minutes at threshold.
Oh, sounds delightful.
That is her in a nutshell. We're running up the back. The boys are going again. Who goes first? Up on the chair so Amanda can see you.
Yeah, I need that help.
What's your favourite race bike?
Your favourite race bike? Trek
Favourite-
Madone.
Yes. Oh, Matt answered it. My Trek Madone, the new one, because it's a combination of the Amonda and Madone. So for a small rider like me, I find it perfect between climbing and being fast.
Next question.
What's your favourite bike brand and why?
It might surprise you, but my favourite bike brand is Trek. Beautiful bike. And I also just really love the messaging behind Trek and trying to get people on bikes, enjoy bikes, ride bikes, have fun. So that's something that really resonates with me.
Next question is all the way over here. And check out the jersey, Spratty.
Love the jersey.
Spratty's won that jersey 3 times. Oh, it is your jersey. It's your actual jersey.
I know.
Can you give us some information on the year that you won it and like about that year of winning it?
She can hear me.
Okay.
I tell you what, we want some information on this jersey, the year that you won it, and how you did it.
This is when I do feel like I'm actually getting old and not experienced. No, that was 2016. I got away with Ruth Corset, one of the stalwarts of Australian cycling, and I was very excited about that one because I beat her in a sprint. And me and my 750 watts were pretty happy about that.
I bet you enjoyed...
Hearing about Sam doing
Yes.
700 watts for a minute before. Stuff of my dreams.
Another question.
Where do you rank the Tour Down Under on the scale of like all cycling events around the world?
That's a great question. I think it's right up there. I think it's one of the best events, the best run events. I mean, the best supported event in terms of home crowd. But I just think they do an amazing job here with the village and the festival and really the interaction you can have with the riders and the mechanics in the village. I think there aren't many races in the world really where you can do that. So that makes it really special.
Okay, I've got a question. That's brilliant. A question courtesy of Kirsty. She's lost her voice. Who have been the most influential people in the advancement of cycling, particularly in women's cycling? Who do you think's had the biggest impact?
I think Mariana Vos for sure. I think she's been someone that's just since, I mean, I'm the same age as Mariana, so I was trying to come through and contend against her, but I just think she's someone that's really just the GOAT, the greatest of all time, really put the sport on the map. I think Annemiek van Vleuten, and I think in particular just having a women's Tour de France, I think for me that's been the biggest thing that's progressed women's cycling. I mean, in the last 3-4 years, it's just gone like this, and I think the way she races and her style really helped that.
And Spratty, I'm sure you'd agree that Mariana Vos, without her, the women's Tour de France would not be happening. She was the one that lobbied for it to be on the Champs-Élysées, and she built it. She's done enormous things on the bike, but off the bike, she's done even more.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think from memory, Mariana, Emma Pooley and Katrin Bertine, I think, really petitioned for that. And we had that one-day race, La Course, on the Champs-Élysées for many years. We were pushing. And I think in the end, everyone wished they'd done it earlier because we've seen the success it's had. It's brought a lot more sponsors into the sport. Many people watch it. I've also had messages from people I didn't hear from since school that they're watching it as well. It was a long time ago.
Next question.
Yeah, similar lines. The development of the Women's World Tour. Your experience, obviously, you're towards the end of your career. How excited are you for the young riders today?
Before you answer the question, what about the radio voice on the question? That was outstanding. You're going to have my job. Put your hands together.
Yeah, I think it is an absolutely amazing time to come in as a young rider in the development of the World Tour. I think it's fantastic. I mean, we've got young riders coming in now into full World Tour teams, amazing support. I mean, I try to tell them sometimes the stories of driving through the night in a van from Holland to Italy and then back 2 days later, but they just can't understand that era. But I just, yeah, I think it's incredible. So many races, so many opportunities now. We're seeing a lot of the World Tour teams also to create development teams, which I think is a really important step as well, because still that step from juniors to seniors is very hard.
All right, another question here from Levi.
How did this race help your performances in Europe?
How did this race help your performances in Europe?
I think this race has always helped my performances in Europe. I think the years that I won it, it just gave me that confidence that I was on track and ready to go. And I think I'd always rather just be good at the start of the year and build on that, rather than not being as good and trying to chase the form the whole year. So, and it's also just nice. It's the first race with the team, sometimes with new teammates, so you're reuniting with teammates last year. So for me, it's a really important way to start the year.
What are you most looking forward to in 2025?
Everything. I'm experienced, but I'm still motivated and excited for races like I was 10, 15 years ago. But I'm really looking forward to having a good, healthy year. I think last year was quite a hard year in the back half, with my dad being really sick and a couple of injuries that ended my season very early. So I'm really looking forward in particular to the Giro d'Italia. We're really going there to target the GC with some of our riders, so that'll be a big one. And then Rwanda World Championships in Africa. I think I've never raced in Africa, but I've just heard the support and they're going to expect millions roadside, I think, so it's going to be incredible.
It's going to be a really, really big year. Amanda Spratt has been one of the great role models for Australian cyclists coming through, but also for young kids. You're probably sick of me telling this story, but I'm going to tell it again. The jersey that was up there, my daughter went to watch the national championships when Spratty finished second one year. And she got dropped on the third last lap and got back on. She got dropped on the second last lap and she got back on. She got dropped on the last lap and she got back on, and she got beaten in the sprint finish. And my daughter had not been to a bike race before and she watched that one. A week later, we're on holiday and we're riding up a hill with a bunch of other kids, and my daughter was the youngest kid there. And I went up alongside her and I said, "Do you want me to give you a push?" And she said, "No, Dad, I'm Amanda Spratt." And she was in her smallest gear, and she kept pedaling. She was the only kid that made it to the top of the hill without stopping. Everybody else got off and walked. And I told Spratty that story. The next year, Spratty went to the national championships and she won the national championships. A week later, arriving in our letterbox is a jersey from Amanda Spratt with a message to my daughter to always keep pedaling. And she's got that hanging on her wall above her bed. And every time when my daughter plays a sport, if it's netball, I try not to be that ugly parent, but if her head drops and she's looking a bit defeated, I just mouth the words to her, "Spratty." And her shoulders lift up and she charges on through. You're an amazing inspiration. What we heard from you tonight, which was the defining character of Amanda Spratt, is I asked her a question about Sarah Gigante. Sarah Gigante is one of Spratty's rivals. And she's giving her advice and helping her to try and be better and achieve her best. That summarises Amanda Spratt. Don't worry about all the results. The person is even better than the 3-time winner of this race and the 3-time Australian champion. One of the most brilliant and beautiful people of Australian cycling. Put your hands together for Amanda Spratt. You're a star, Spratty. I've got to give away these glasses, but I'm going to cheat. I'm going to make the decision, because we've had one kid who's asked a question for Sam Welsford, he's asked a question for Amanda Spratt, and his twin brother got the glasses on the first night. So you can't send him home without the glasses, can you? Do we all agree? We cool with that? Levi, all the way from Bendigo. And their mum had a crash on the first day. She's been in hospital, so she needs a boost as well. Safe travel home, boys, and I hope to see you at a bike race again soon. Once again, please give it up for Amanda Spratt. I hope you've enjoyed talking to her this year. This is the last one. There's no village for me tomorrow. But get out to the criteria and watch the women start racing at 10 o'clock, Spratty. The women start racing. Actually, who's going to win?
Clara Caponi.
Clara Caponi from Leader Trek. She's going to win because 750 watts is going to lead her out on the last corner.
Look out.
Look out. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope to see you back here again next year. Thanks for coming each night for those of you who kept turning up. See you later.